the generation that can't read. Now, when it comes to me, right, I'm also a shit reader as well. Like when it comes to my my reading level, it's grade 9 level. Sometimes grade 10. On my best days, luckiest days, it's grade 11. So, yeah, I'm not the like I'm not a shit I'm not like the worst reader, but I'm not great either.
For me growing up, education was one of the most important things. My
I already had an idea about this shit already, but I just decided let me just go make a video about it though. So it's like let me just yeah.
parents would always push me
Fuck it.
to get the best grades I could. You can't get a job or
Yeah, that was the same thing even with me. Like there were times where basically during the holidays, back in school, I would have to do some extra homework while on holiday.
be taken serious without a certain level of education. But now, an alarming number of people can't read. I know you might be looking at me like I sound crazy, but yes, there
This has been an issue that's been going on for the longest, but it just got worse.
are people out there who are way below the reading level that they should be at. Look, I'm not the greatest reader ever. Honestly, part of this video is low-key targeted at me. If you were to tell me to read independently for 15 minutes, there's no way I'd be 100% focused. This is
Yeah, I'll fuck up in 7 minutes.
definitely been a problem for kids in Gen Z and Gen Alpha, but it only seems to be getting worse. There's some kids that are below reading level, some kids that can't even read at all, and there's some adults that
The fuck was that? What the fuck was that?
don't have proficient reading skills. And this was happening before Gen Z and Gen Alpha, of course, but the problem's only gotten worse. And recently, I've been seeing a lot of videos talking about this problem, so I figured I'd make a video about it. The first video talks about how
There's a part of me where it's like I just want to go ahead and have like these Galaxy Cosmetic shrooms on ecstasy as basically psychedelic acid-like visuals. Fuck, what's the word? The looks, the painting, the looks. Yeah, it's the looks. Bruh, my mind has been shit lately though. Like I can't think properly though. But when have I ever been focused or like ever been like optimally been working up here? Since when? Since when was my mind right? But yeah, when it comes to this look over here, I would like to have that shit in my water. Like there's Molly water. I would also like to have these kind of shits on my walls as the painting, the desks, the speakers. Even though the Yamaha or the Yahama speakers, and the fucking even some on the windows, and you know what I'm saying? Like it's a hyper intensified version of a smoking of a hotbox room.
40% of fourth graders fall into this category where
40. Okay.
they are below basic reading skills that they need for their grade level.
Fourth grader asks their teacher, "Why do I need to learn how to read if AI can read for me?"
Oh no. Oh no. No. Yeah, I'm not there at this point.
Right now, 40% of fourth graders can't read.
40% is actually insane. They're not even to know how to read the response that ChatGPT is giving to them. I saw this comment on this video.
It's gonna get to a point where it's like, why would I need to read when I need AI to read for me when basically they can just fuck around and go ahead and be like, next, as this goes on, be like, they won't even have hearing skills afterwards, listening skills.
And honestly, it's really true. We used to flex.
That's the thing. Back then, we used to flex being a higher reading level, like basically being smart. Like being smart was basically, like there was competition for basically saying that the thing is, like if you got like 60% though, you're retarded. You know what I'm saying?
Being at a higher reading level. When I was in school, they had this thing.
I was in that era as well.
to try to fix the problem where basically they would put you in different groups based on your reading level. The groups were circle, triangle, and square. Now, square was above, triangle was on reading level, and circle was below. I'm confessing this
I was between
above, triangle was on reading level, and
triangle and circle.
Circle was below. I'm confessing this under zero pressure, by the way. I was in the circle group. And I would get clowned for it sometimes, too. But you know what, man? It is what it is. At least I was trying to learn how to read.
Yeah, like basically, like when I was much younger, though, I was actually doing better than most people, though. And then now it's like I fell so short. Bad.
I remember people would flex the fact that they were in the square group. And I actually talked to my teacher because I wanted to improve my reading skills and move up a group. So she gave me a bunch of...
You know, even back then, right, I used to have a passion for reading. I still do, though, but now it's like I don't hate reading as much as I used to back then.
Reading packets to practice, and eventually I went up a reading level. And to third grade me, this was the best day of my life. But the point of this stupid ass anecdote was, if people adopt this mindset of, wow, why do I even need to read when I have ChatGPT, it's only gonna get worse.
7th grade English teacher here. I have kids constantly asking me how
to get worse.
7th grade English teacher here.
I'm glad that there's basically 7th grade teachers that we can see right here with dreads and shit, because back in college, though, they wouldn't allow this, though. But at the same time, it's like, it's kind of suspicious because the nigga has a septum piercing. So I'm like thinking, what school is this one? And the septum piercing theory is real. I just don't know how common it is. You know what I'm saying? He even has a piercing on above his lip. Yeah. Those schools are one of those. But I do appreciate them letting my boy have the dreads.
I have kids constantly asking.
Wait, I don't know if he is my boy. Never mind.
Asking me, how do I spell window? How do I spell important? How do I spell though? And they be serious. They're dead serious.
I was in those situations before. Like, I remember there was a time where it's like I misspelled Antarctica. There were times where even my spelling, though, I was even fucking up some of them sometimes. It's actually now. But back then, it's like I was the one student that basically went and got every spelling correct, like in the 6th grade. And Antarctica was the one that fucked me up. That was the only word that I got wrong throughout that whole year. And now I'm fucking up badly.
Holy shit, dude, that's crazy. I can't even imagine what it's like
But not to this degree.
to be a teacher nowadays. I used to have spelling tests, so I'd have to remember how to spell words like window and important at like 7 years old. I'm not saying that reading and spelling has to be like everybody's strong point. You don't have to be that one kid participating in your school for the spelling bee. But these are things you should know by the time you get to that age. And I'm not the greatest speller either. Sometimes I make spelling mistakes in my videos. I mean, that's probably just me being an idiot and not checking it over. Or sometimes...
Or just basically like sometimes you just don't go ahead and be like, what's this? But it happens, though. It happens. Or like sometimes when it comes to even making a video, it's like fucking rushed, though. You know what I'm saying? You just rush through it.
I just rely on spell check too much.
I could ask them, who is the main character of your story? The story of 4-paragraph story we just read. Can't tell you.
And those people who choose not to make improvements to their spelling or reading skills at all in any capacity end up in the position where they're an adult and they can't read at all. Now, some adults didn't have the opportunity to receive a good education when they were growing up, but
Oh yeah, there's a lot of them, though. They look like me.
sometimes, man, people just aren't trying. An example of an adult who can't read is Floyd Mayweather. He's been
Yeah, there's also cases where it's like, yeah, it's even the same with me, because when it comes to me, I'm just not really that serious. So it does basically fall like that. Basically, it's just when it comes to me, the reason why I'm at this level is just simply because I'm just not serious.
out for years for not being able to read properly.
This is a special ASLELS challenge for you, Floyd. If you can read one full page of a Harry Potter book, nigga, I'll give $750,000 to whatever charitable organization you want.
And now speaking of
Now here's the thing. 50 Cent didn't say anything about without stuttering. That's the thing.
Of reading
If that was the case and I was fluent, I'll basically read through 5 at least.
on the internet, you all know where I'm going with this. There's certain cases where people turned on the cameras and just started reading. Specifically Kai Cenat and Rakai. Now we all know the story with Kai Cenat at this point. He's trying to improve his speaking skills by reading out loud on camera. And I guess Rakai was following.
No, but here's the thing though. When it comes to Kai, right? Like, yeah, you can basically do well when it comes to pronouncing the words correctly. Yes. And also the flow and the speed of it all. You could do that. But also, like, the problem is also to fucking comprehend, to understand. You know what I'm saying? That's also like, because here's the thing. Like, when it comes to me, I have to fuck around and like read something over and over and over and over and over again to really get it. But not like this.
Following in his footsteps. And for both of these cases, the internet did not need to see this, dog. Both of them should have just did this off the internet.
Here's my thing, right? I think that basically I just think that when it comes to Kai though, basically his rebrand, he's purposely doing it wrong. That's the thing. He's purposely doing it wrong. Everything is on purpose.
Dude is getting fried bad. Like, people are saying he's having a heated conversation with the book. He's yelling at the book. He's giving the book a motivational speech. I mean, hey, I'll give him props for at least trying to develop better reading skills. But in my opinion, they should have just did this in their own time. I don't think, me personally, I would broadcast myself to millions of people reading. I didn't really like popcorn reading in class to begin with. So reading in front of millions of people, oh, I would definitely choke. And everybody would be frying me. And some people that are frying Kai and Rakai, they're just lying, bro. They're not exactly the greatest readers either. There was a video I saw on TikTok.
For sure. They're trash as well.
Of this streamer who brought in his chat that was making fun of Kai Cenat to read the same book that he was, to see if they actually had good reading skills. And these dudes that got on the call, they couldn't even read it themselves without stuttering.
Yo, you think you could read better than Cant, bro? This is the exact book he was reading.
The 4-step pattern is the backbone of every habit, and your brain runs through these steps in the same order each time. First, there's the cue. The cue triggers your brain to intake a
Entertain. Yeah, get the fuck out of my.
Initiate. Okay, let me read. This 4-step pattern is the backbone of every habit, and your brain runs through these steps in the same order each time. First, there is the cue. I thought I was about to say clue, but it's cue. The cue triggers your brain to initiate a behavior. It is a bit of information that predicts a reward. Our prehistoric ancestors were paying attention to cues that signaled the location of primary rewards like food, water, and sex. Today, we spend most of our time learning cues that predict secondary rewards like money and fame, power and status, praise and approval, love and friendship, or a sense of personal satisfaction. Of course, these pursuits also indirectly improve our odds of survival and reproduction, which is the deeper motive behind everything we do. I almost said narrative. Your mind is continuously analyzing your internal and external environment for hints of where rewards are located, because the cue is the first indication. What's here? Fine or first indication that we're close to a reward. It naturally leads to a craving. Cravings are the second step, and they are the motivational force behind every habit. Without some level of motivation or desire, yeah, you know what you get it.
Yo, what's up?
You know what? Just because of that, I'm gonna make an attempt to read Queso's Kokomo.
Yeah, you know what? Once I start to do enough reaction videos, more and more over and over again, I'm going to get hit with a lot of pre-watched allegations though. Because let me tell you something though. You know, when it comes to basically trying to get up as a reactor or a commentator or some shit though, basically, like, especially on TikTok though, if there's a video that's basically playing on the video, if there's like a video, right, it's like you have to go ahead and watch the video so that you can comment on it afterwards, because it's not like you can go ahead and like watch the video and then make your commentary right after. You would have to literally Like, here's the thing. First, you would have to basically play the video and then cut the video to you talking about the video, speaking on the video. So because I'm doing that, and then there's me actually watching these shits for the first time, unlike the times where I actually did watch it before, because there were also cases where I've watched videos where I just saw a bit of it though, and I'm just like thinking, you know, fuck it, let me just make a video, and then I just end up, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna say that every single fucking video I'm seeing for the first time, but I will say that 90% of them I haven't seen for the first time. But I haven't seen this video, and I noticed that this is the second time where it's like, you know what? This seems like I've watched the video before. And you know what the thing is? I also saw this video too. So like when it comes to me, I was about over here. I was 41 seconds into the video, and then I decided, let me just make a video. I wasn't all the way here, so I don't know.
Whoa. A tropical
I think I just made it even worse though. Okay.
blend of creamy coconut, juicy pineapple, and sweet vanilla. Okay, that promo was not slick, bro. Go to usecheeky.com and sweet vanilla. Okay, that promo was not slick, bro. Go to usecheeky.com and buy yourself some soap. Use code Birdie for 10% off. If you want the new queso soap, go get it now, because it's gonna sell out fast. I mispronounce shit in my videos all the time. I stutter. I can't sit there and cook Kai Cenat for stuttering. And for this second half of the
I would. Even if I would be worse, I would.
Video, I want to answer, why is this? Why are people now not able to read at the expected level they should be? The first thing I want to
but not just to anybody
bring up is a lot of people don't read in their free time. Whenever I read something,
yeah, that's the thing. I don't read in my free time.
It's usually for college. I can't even remember the last
exactly. Like when it comes to education and school and all that stuff, it would all be for college. It would all be for tests and exams and projects and whatever bullshit they were wasting my time with though. And even when it comes to everything else, I'm very rusty at everything.
Last time I read a book outside of college. You know what, bro? It might be time for me to cop Atomic Habits. The fact that I was stuck reading books I didn't like for school assignments only made me hate reading more. Now, me personally, I just didn't like Of Mice and Men, To Kill a Mockingbird.
Even the same thing, like when it comes to me, I hated fucking homework because I had to do it in my free time though, which is why most of the time as I basically went through school, like back then when I was younger though, I would go ahead and try to finish as much homework as I could on the first day, and then the rest of the 4 days up until Friday. From Tuesday, I wouldn't do shit. But then as I got up to college though, to high school, ain't no way I don't know. I forgot the difference. I forgot the difference between college and high school. Ain't no way. I forgot the difference. College offers greater independence, faster paced learning, and higher personal responsibility compared to a structured teacher-led environment of high school. While high school focuses on fundamental knowledge and guided learning, college requires proactive time management, self-directed studying, and deeper critical thinking. I was in high school.
Or whatever else I had to read. So when it was time for me to read, I wasn't exactly jumping for joy. Now in school, I get it, you gotta be forced to read because how else are you gonna sharpen your reading skills? When it comes time for me to graduate college, if my lazy ass doesn't pick up a book, my reading skills are definitely gonna fall off. And that brings me to my next point. Some people aren't encouraged to read outside of school. When I was growing up, my parents were like, yo, you gotta pick up a book. Read.
I was encouraged to basically read though, But then I didn't take it seriously though.
Need something. I don't care what it is. So at certain points throughout the day, my parents would want me to sit down and just read for an hour. And they
Back then, I hated that back then. I hated that back then. But I appreciate it now.
especially wanted me to read during the summer because we had these reading logs we had to fill out and my parents had to sign them. And at the beginning,
Oh, I had that as well. I had that as well. There was even a time where I even went and literally faked my dad's signature to make it seem like I was reading.
beginning of the school year, we'd have to give them to the school. But some people now are probably just using ChatGPT to summarize the book and write them entire essays about it. Now, I'm not saying that AI, technology, social media, or any of that is bad, but it's just a double-edged
It is. Yeah.
sword. Because let's just say,
But I would basically say it's a triple-edged sword because it's one sword pointing towards someone, but it's also two swords pointing back at you. And that one sword is because of who runs the AI, you know what I'm saying? But I guess if you really, really do think about it, it's a double-edged sword though, I guess.
you
But it's just that the blades are thicker, wider.
used AI all throughout K-12, your entire school career, you wouldn't even know anything. You wouldn't know how to read, write, do math, any of that. You'd have to summon ChatGPT to do the most basic things for you. And of course, since people are consuming a lot of information online, and it's really fast-paced information, you can just endlessly scroll.
Oh, I remember this. I remember not this video, but I remember there was an episode where there were these bug-eyed kids, though I don't know what the fuck, what show it was, but there was a kids show that basically showed us this happening. You know what I'm saying? There was an episode that showed us happening. Of like those motherfuckers were basically made out of Play-Doh or some shit. I forgot what it was. Like they have big eyes, these kids. Bruh, I don't know what, I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember. Yeah, there was basically a kids show where they basically showed us this happening. And I remember that there was a scene of this.
That's obviously going to lead to people having a shorter attention span. Now, I feel like this is the part that's fucking up my reading skills the most. When I pick up a book, time does not fly, bro. It feels like the minutes are ticking by so
It does. It really just slows down when you pick this shit up.
slow. I'm just bored, and I'm used to consuming all this information on TikTok, YouTube, whatever it is. And I'm seeing videos pop up on my For You page of
People yapping in 2x speed.
they got Minecraft
Oh, that's bad. I would say that the one reason, the one exception for that is to go ahead and basically not have their time wasted though. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to me, I have this thing where it's like I just want to get off the internet and just be outside more.
parkour at the bottom. They got
Now, here's the thing with me, right? Like basically, I would go do so if someone was basically talking too slow. That's the thing. But yeah, no, most of the time I wouldn't be doing this.
popping captions. They got it all. And maybe it's just because it's just taking more effort for my brain to stay engaged while focusing on something that's less
Yeah, it's like you basically need captions to now basically make people stop.
stimulating. And another reason why some people don't have the greatest reading skills is excessive screen time. When I was a kid, I was putting up a lot of screen time numbers specifically on my iPad. And I would read, but not as much as I should have been. But now it's only gotten
So did I. Okay, this bitch has a fupa.
worse how much
Basically, this fupa is extending more than the tits though.
time some of these kids spend on their iPads. Some parents out there will just hand their kid an
I'd uppercut the shit out of that bitch, bro.
iPad. So that just leads to them
Like, there's a bunch of motherfuckers that are literally even doing the 6-7 challenge though. I would fuck up everybody.
putting up lethal screen time numbers. And I don't really think this number has gone down as I've
Yeah, when it comes to that number, I was putting up numbers like that too. I was excessive with my screen time as well.
gone into adulthood.
Like, yeah, I was reading and I was also out doing sports, physical education, and also just also sports sometimes outside of school. Then, but yeah, still on my screen though.
I'm just using my phone instead. Like when I hop in bed at night, I should be reading a book, but I just scroll on my phone instead. But some of these kids, they got like 3 screens going at once. I've seen videos of...
Okay, that's the first time I've ever seen a kid have 3 screens. That's crazy. Like basically, the most I've ever seen with 3 screens was basically streamers, bro. Like when it comes to having 3 monitors, that's the thing. I've only seen that.
iPad kids throwing tantrums when they get their iPad taken away. So if their parents aren't limiting their screen time, it can obviously cause some problems. I think part of the problem nowadays is that these kids have their iPads with them everywhere. During the...
Yeah, this was also me as well. And there was also a case where it's like when I fucked up my iPad store because no, just one. It's just because I was just so mad at like the games I was playing. I was raging.
school day, they
I'm so glad I wasn't pissed off to the point where I threw my remote to the TV. Like, nah.
got their iPads with them, which they're supposed to be using for schoolwork. But of course, it has a lot of distractions on it, so you know how that goes. And when you're a kid, there's going to be some people that don't realize the importance of learning basic reading skills. So instead, they're going to play Roblox during class. So the teacher pretty much has to fight for their attention the entire class. And now not only is excessive screen time to blame, but so is the school system. I feel like sometimes the schools will pass kids regardless if they're ready to move up a grade or not. So these kids that are just past upgrade.
Yeah, like basically there were cases where it's like I went to a similar school and I've also here's the thing, like the school was serious but also at the same time it wasn't serious enough. It was willing to pass students just to get rid of them. Now here's the thing, I wasn't one of them, but there was a subject that I was supposed to pass as it needed to go up a grade. I failed one of them, but I basically did well in the rest of the others.
Grades, regardless if they actually do well, are going to be behind their entire school career. So if some...
And I think it was also because due to the other fucking subjects that I was doing, like there was arts, there was also some other shit. I went and got my grades high as fuck for that one and probably even when it contributed to that though.
Some kid was on some no David type of timing. He was a menace in class at all times and just got straight F's across the board. They would just pass him. They didn't care. Like this dude really had to hit the books. But no, this kid continuously was able to move up grades. And there's some schools out there where people can't receive a quality education. So they end up just being behind their entire time in school. And of course, the pandemic definitely had some impact too. Let's be honest with ourselves, guys. Half of us definitely weren't paying attention during online school. And that's me being generous. And I know for certain I wasn't. I was just playing games on my computer and I just didn't care. And even the teachers...
Nah, basically when it comes to us doing the pandemic thing, basically when it happened to me, I wasn't doing any schoolwork. We didn't do anything. We were just at home.
Were like, yo, I just want this year to be over. And for some people, this whole thing happened at an extremely crucial point for their development. Now, the pandemic definitely had some effect, but it's been 6 years, so it can't just be because of the pandemic. Although the pandemic made me a chud that just wanted to doom scroll, it took me a bit to get back in the swing of things. But it definitely made the problem with my screen time a lot worse. Speaking of screen time, watch this video about being chronically...
Yeah, I'm chronically online. I know it. And yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for not even watching, just being here. And over, under, and out.